And Dr. L.
You are, and I am Sophia Cox.
What's up, yo?
Nothing. It's a really rainy,
Gloomy.
day.
But, you know, we are blessed.
And highly favored. Ooh, ooh.
Yes,
I actually
yes.
bought you some champagne to celebrate
Did
your
you?
new completion of your home. Whoa. That's amazing. But I knew that you was like really not about that life. So I'm like,
I'm not about the champagne life?
meaning that you wouldn't do it in the morning time.
Are you serious?
So would you like to open your bottle?
On air?
Why not? It's the real therapist.
Yes.
Okay then. So hold on. I'm sorry that I judged you and assumed that you would not at 10 o'clock on a... No, I would not think that.
Are you kidding me?
Thank you so much. This is why, Content Complex is our favorite home, because just hand us our...
This is the person, when we graduated from undergrad, it was 2004, it was the year of the cicadas, it was hot as shit.
Well, let me put my tea
And
up.
we was...
No more peach tea for me.
And we were in one of our little raggedy ass cars. I think it was my raggedy ass Saturn.
As you tell a story, make sure you pop good that I taught you this in 2004.
Don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You do it.
See?
Because you gonna put me on
that,
air.
Exactly. Even that was a little sketchy. That was a little sketchy.
We got some glass, some cups.
Yeah.
Oh, this nigga don't like drinking champagne out no red cup. Yo,
I looked over there, I was like, oh, we got is red cups.
This girl would not carry would carry the bottle of champagne around the club until she got like flukes. Because she does not drink champagne out of a red cup. So we toasting it up.
We are toasting. This is
Suge.
to
Today.
Suge. We not even like, this is Suge.
Suge's in her new home that she built. Thank you, Lord.
I
Thank
can't
you,
wait.
Jesus. Thank
Can't
you,
wait.
friend.
Yes to you. Ooh.
You never know what you're gonna get here.
You
never
sure
know what
don't.
you're gonna get here. So yes, we
Because
are
I didn't
feeling
even
good.
think this the Lent season. I've been fasting at 6 o'clock Monday to Thursday, and the first Friday it's like, okay, I haven't eaten anything. Went from Hezekiah Walker in the car to drinking peach tea to
Popping the bottle.
popping the
I'm a
bottle.
real therapist for the culture.
You can't get no realer.
Never
than
know
this.
what you're gonna
In
get.
20 years of experience, woo! Reiki healer, spiritual life
I
coach.
received that. And I just want to say, like, my inspiration, like, I like to share my story as a way to inspire people, right? And so no matter what moment or season you sitting in, all you have to do is just speak it, profess it, and believe what it is that you want. And I don't care what the circumstances look like. You could be standing in a 10 feet of bullshit. It will come to you as long as you continue to believe and manifest that it's gonna come to you. And it does not matter who believes in you or who believes in that thing that you want. You deserve it. Speak it, profess it, you'll have it. That's it.
Thank you. We could end right there. Because I felt that, and I definitely received that. And sometimes it's think about all the topics we've talked about, self-love, trauma, seeking self-validation or seeking validation from others. All of those things will play a part in you losing your vision.
Absolutely.
Losing your drive, or even doubting what you deserve,
Yep.
let alone if it's attainable or not.
Yep.
So thank you for sharing that early.
Yep.
All right, so let's just jump into our topic
And it's on you today.
Yo, as you guys know, it's like we have a lot of roles and duties in life, and we take every last one serious, right? Like, here we are approaching almost 4 years with our baby podcast, right? And we've been doing this whole single blind experience the entire time. Even when people be like, come on, y'all don't think y'all should tell each other?
Never.
This is what's organic for us. You will never be able to say the real therapists are scripted. Even the person with the topic isn't scripted. You see, we always have like a little bit of notes kind of thing, but we take it so serious. So it's like the reminders, it's your topic. Okay, relax, I got it. And the other person just comes in floating and gliding like the pressure isn't on me.
I'm so glad because I am an ironer. I iron. And if in this sweatsuit I have on, it's kind of hidden. It is not ironed, but it would have been. But that third friend came and did her Virgo thing, and I couldn't find shit. And I'm like, I'm gonna just put this sweatsuit and this hat on today. I'm glad it's not my topic, because usually when it's my topic, I like to put a little lipstick on or something. But
and that's the thing. You guys gotta watch us on YouTube, because it's interesting to see whoever topic it is, do they get cute?
They faces beat today.
I told you I can't sit and let somebody put lashes. So I've been recently trying to do it myself. And I teach my kids, practice makes close to perfection, right? So I've been like every Friday trying to put these strip lashes on.
Good.
I'm getting a little better. My daughter say I'm still missing these corners. I'm like, it's hard, but I'm going to continue to stick to it. So it is my topic today. And as much as we starting on such a high note, we're going to keep that energy this whole time. However, this is a topic that really gets to me. And many of them do, but this one is so personal for me, because what I realized, and I didn't even peep it until maybe the last 2-3 years. So today's topic is, how do you say it? Parental burnout syndrome.
Okay.
And it speaks for itself, right? Like they have mother overload syndrome, parental overload syndrome, and ultimately it just really means burnout. And many of our listeners who have a job, careers, parents, or anything, you've heard the term burnout. And we usually hear it in the work environment. Most organizations are creating things so that the employees have outlets so that they don't experience burnout.
As it pertains to the job.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's where you may have heard it a lot, where it's most mental health providers experience burnout. Your social workers and case management, healthcare providers, law enforcement, they are really like number one. COVID definitely have medical physicians as number one, and then like law enforcement too. So we hear it there, but a lot of times we don't talk about it at the parental level. And it really kind of starts from, you think about the time, and this is parents who may have had a kid just like biologically, right? So doctors start off by saying, your stress impacts, the baby. So be mindful of your stress. And now the first time I was pregnant with a kid that I birthed was 25, right? So in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, trying to do everything by the book then. So it's like, don't be stressed, because the stress is gonna impact my fetus, right? And I'm like, so at 32, I said to the doctor, like, why y'all say that to people? Why the fuck do y'all say that to people that hear mortgages or this or that, or even just the fear of being a parent, and you put that pressure on them before this kid is even in the world? Like, manage your stress because that's going to impact this kid, right? So even with this child in the womb, you are already developing anxiety and sometimes even fear about, I got to manage my level of stress so it doesn't impact my kid, right? So the burnout starts to happen early years, and then it just develops. Like, can you think of a time your kid is going to be 11? Do you experience parental burnout?
Yes. The fuck you mean? Absolutely.
Have you always been aware of it, or just was like, oh, this is just parenting, and just kind of dismissed it?
No.
Let me get my glasses.
No. Absolutely not necessarily dismiss it. But when you were speaking about how we don't often discuss parental burnout, my mind immediately went to why. And my thought is that the narrative is that you can't do anything about it and you're supposed to. Mm-hmm. Like the narrative is, or the narrative / badge of honor is burning out as a parent means you're a good parent.
Yes, that's the biggest story that we tell ourselves. I must be doing a great job
because I feel crazy.
If I am fatigued, overwhelmed, and look like shit more days than not because my kids look good, their grades are this and this is happening. Like, it's normal, and two, that means that I'm doing a good job. Where do you feel like we've gotten that message from? Because it's learned behavior. There you go. Exactly.
Parents, right?
Exactly.
So it's like, I definitely, there are way more women in my family than men, and do everything for your kids. That is what I have seen. I can even tell you right now with my mother, how many ever miles away in her life that she lives, if I call her today and say, hey, I need you to come to Baltimore and sit with my kid for 3 weeks, she's going to quit her job and she's going to be here with her bag and her pack of cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
So, that's what's going to happen. And so, that is what we have seen, and that is exactly, I know that's where I've adopted it from.
And for many years, like, aspired to be like that.
Yeah.
Even, and it goes back to our conversation in our session last time, like, if that's, we didn't see the parent crying saying, this is too much for me, right? Like what I said to you, all you've shown Journey is strength. So it's kind of like, what we need a man for? Mm-hmm. We good, right? So it's similar in that way. You see these parents bust their ass and do all of these things. It's like, oh, that means I have to do the same thing. So I want to read something. So what I was saying, in the last 3 years, I realized once a year I'm here.
In the burnout phase?
Yes, and depleted parent syndrome. Like I said, there's all different kind of terms. Depleted parent syndrome, parental burnout, depleted mother syndrome. But I want to not make it just about mothers because I watch fathers go through it too.
Sure.
It looks different, and we always attribute to mothers being a nurturer and things like that, but men experience it too, even if that's the man who's just the provider. Mm-hmm. And it's like he's busting his ass so many hours just to make sure that this kid is able to stay in private school, there's a roof over their head, and they can get the sneakers they want, and they in softball, and soccer, and all of the, shit show that happens with this. But once a year, I had this feeling of, I don't want to do this. And I was scared to share that because it was like, my family called me Supermom, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and I've taken it as a badge of honor for so long. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so crazy. It'll be like a mosquito in the house. And the kids will be like, Supermom will kill it. And here I'll come downstairs. Got him. And they'll be like, I know it. That's how bad I've been wearing this cape. That I'm killing bugs and shit. Like, no, B, you won't, and I talk shit as I do it. B, you won't sting my kids. And then we watch it die. Like, it's sickening how bad Supermom has gone. And I created this. One of the Soph says was, be okay with putting your cape in the cleaners.
Yeah.
And whatever that is that you wear, saying to take away early, if it's a cape, if it's a eye mask, whatever your favorite superhero is that you've been wearing, put the shit in the cleaners for a little bit, right? But I was realizing that I was having this feeling of, I don't want to do this. And it was like, that was scary. Like, what you mean you don't want to do this? Like, I don't want a mom. And the first time I felt that and said it to myself, and y'all hear us always talk about awareness. So it was that very insightful moment, but it scared me. And I was crying. I felt guilty. I felt shame. I felt all of these bugged out feelings. I expressed it to my husband, and he has a very, what what's a GRE word that I would like to use? Phlegmatic, a very phlegmatic way, kind of relaxed, laid back, real poised about everything. He was like, I mean, you know, maybe you just need a day. And I was like, yeah. I went to the spa and came back and still was like, every time they called me mom, it was like making me cringe, like wanting to say, shut up, like don't call me that. And it took me a while to say it to another mother that I was like, I don't want a mom. And they just laughed like, okay, all right, don't mom for today. And it was like, I used that to give myself permission to be okay with what I was feeling. But I can honestly say, like, even saying it now still gives me chills, because I wonder if there still is a smidgen of like, oh my God, I can't believe, because people teach you that parenting is the most rewarding job, but they forget to add it's the most rewarding and challenging job.
Yeah, but like, even in considering in looking at it like a job, you still need time off. Mm-hmm. You still need a break. And so it shouldn't be a problem to say, you know what, I ain't doing this shit today.
Yeah.
It happens more than once a year for me. That once a year shit, nah, it happens more than once a year.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing that. It's profound for me once a year.
Gotcha.
Not saying that it's not other time, like these little crumb snatches is getting on my nerves or something like that. But when I felt it in my soul, like, like, wait, what's that? Am I going to get in a car and drive off and never come back kind of thing? Like, yo, you need to sit with this. So I feel like it's once a year. And the first time it happened, it lasted for almost 2 weeks. Since then, being aware of it, giving myself permission to feel and be okay with it, the next 2 years, I realized it was shorter because I knew to respond faster.
Gotcha.
I knew to give myself grace and compassion. So, and then this time when it happened this year, we only in March. So maybe this might be my year, might hit. Again, this time it lasts about 3 to 5 days.
3 to 5 days, like a common cold.
Yeah, exactly.
So for me, I'll take the day off. Mm-hmm. I'll say, because I can usually feel it in my spirit when I wake up. Mm-hmm. And I'll say, you know what, I'm not doing this today. So y'all on your own.
Yeah.
And I'll probably have to say it quite a few times, so that y'all means Journey and her little furry friends. Mm-hmm. But you know what I do? I'm going to have to be real honest. Please. I can't do it. It doesn't last for that many days. Mm-hmm. The next day, I'll usually go.
Exactly. There you go.
Out.
Thank you. I need our listeners to be able to hear that. Don't miss that piece. Say it.
So I'll think I'm going so fucking hard. Like, no.
Y'all are on your own today.
Eat your cereal, blah, 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 blah. Next day, I'll be making lobster and
Chick-fil-A.
Some packages might arrive. I'll be like extra, like as if I'm trying to like make up for the lost day.
Not trying, you are making up for the lost day, right? And that is powerful, right? So I just want to read, and I just want you guys to just go with us on this journey of just starting out with giving yourself permission to, one, acknowledge that parental burnout is real. Don't let anyone make you think otherwise. As a parent, you tend to focus on the needs of your children. Many parents put so much of their time and energy into their children that they neglect their own needs. The result is parental burnout. This is a real condition. It's a condition in which you're so exhausted that you feel like you have nothing left to give. That's how I knew it was real, because even in my moments where it's like, oh, y'all are doing a lot, I'm still going to be like, oh, look, I made French toast and they are out of hearts and, stars and things like that. When I feel like I have nothing to give, I can't even say my usual speech in the morning, be creative, create the day that you want, honor yourself, blah, blah, blah. It's like, bye. I always muster out, I love you, but it's that. So just being aware when you feel, I don't even have nothing to give. that's a sign that I'm in parental burnout, right? And it looks like exhaustion. Yes, we know, and this is why it gets challenging, that this was important for me, because we discount these things because it's like, oh, life is exhausted. Of course, being a parent is exhausted. Oh,
you asked for this.
Yes.
You decided to have these kids.
You wanted 4. You wanted 2 girls and 2 boys. You wanted this, and people will discount it, which then leads you to discounting it for yourself. But knowing the difference of, I'm a little tired and exhausted, where I don't even have the energy to muster up to, and it might not be as extreme as take a shower. It just may not be your regular routine. Mm-hmm. What you do for your children, what you do for yourself, pay attention to things like that. What's other things that you feel like could be a sign of knowing, or for yourself, like, oh, this is when I know I'm in parental burnout?
Minimal patience.
That's on the list, exactly.
That's
limited tolerance, as they call it. WebMD, and you know, we do a lot of stuff. We'll look at Psychology Today, a lot of our psychological articles. But when things is in WebMD, it's like, oh, this is a medical thing, are we saying, right? Like DSM-5 are constantly meeting to discuss what this fatigue mother syndrome looks like, depleted mother syndrome really looks like, because it's real, and it's not just mothers. So it's, the one that got me is the brain fog. When I feel like everything just seems cloudy, I can't quite figure things out, I'm forgetting. I done said this kid field trip is this day 1,000 times. I done forgot this orthodontist appointment.
Yo.
And that's when it's like, oh shit.
Yo. I took Journey to this. I've never done this. And I'm not at depleted. I think I'm not at depleted right now in this moment. It's just so much going on. And I'm trying to manage all the regular and all the extra in this week. And I took her to before care, and she wasn't even supposed to be there. And got there late too. Like, school starts, bell rings at 9:15. Walked into before care at 8:50, and go. And I'm like, why the hell is her name grayed out? And I was like, the fuck is today? I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I walked out of there. I was like, she ain't supposed to be here, but I don't know what day it is. And I walked.
And y'all gonna keep her?
And y'all gonna, I was like, she actually supposed to be in ukulele club. And the white lady was like, do you want me to bring her? And I was like, I don't know.
Figure it out. Figure it out, white lady. I don't know.
She's at school. At the end of the day, when the bell rings, send her to class. I don't know what the fuck y'all want me to do. I'm sorry.
No, it's that. The brain fog, the limited tolerance or patience, or you just feel super snappy, the confusion, just like confused about just, what am I doing? You start to question yourself as a parent, like, am I doing this good?
And it's like, it feels like you're losing control.
Yes, that is key signs. And don't get me wrong, some of that is normalcy, right? Some of that is a part of this journey and that, but it's you knowing yourself. So when it starts to show up a lot, it's like, oh, wait a minute, this isn't my baseline. Mm-hmm. So only you will know what your baseline is. For me, one of the things is the short temper, but the poor sleep. When my mind, and don't get me wrong, I'm naturally very always thinking and could have racing thoughts, but when it's constant, I'm waking up like, did I do this? Did I do that? Is this prepared? That's a sign for me. So my mind just cannot shut down, and it affects my sleep. One that WebMD had that threw me for a loop, but it made sense. Just more obsessive compulsive tendencies. So you usually clean up on your Saturday or your Sundays, but now you clean it up Monday, Wednesday. You going through the book bags over and over and over. You not only cleaning, you reaching out to teachers, just overly obsessing about them particularly. And I was like, that's interesting, but it made sense if a part of it is also questioning and feeling insecure about your role. So think about it. When we are insecure, we're seeking validation. We're overly doing to make sure that it's good. Is the house clean enough? Are there stuff in order? I look back and how many highlighters, black and white compositions, pencils we have. He shouldn't need, the littlest one should not need shit until high school. I got 30 black and white composition books. Just because I don't always read the list. I go off of what I think they need. And then by the time I get the supply list, then I'm doubling instead of checking for what I already had. So those are some.
Or the teacher told you 5 and you decided you was going to buy 10 anyway.
That part. I have gotten a little better with that. Like, y'all lying.
7.
Yeah. Y'all lying. Y'all giving them to other classmates, asking for donations. So yeah, I got it. Increased stress levels and the forgetfulness. Just forgetting a lot, like not knowing the day before care should have been. Just basic stuff like that. Damn, did I sign the permission slip for the field trip? Those things are key things. And then one of the other ones that I do want to spend some time on is not liking them. I feel that it's important to normalize that there are times you won't like your children. You gotta think about, like, no, seriously, you laughing, right? They are relationships. You've heard us say on here 1,000 times that it's okay that we don't always like our spouses, or we don't always like our family members, the people who brought us in this world, such and such and such. And you know who we never say on that list? Are the kids. No, it's a relationship. Just because they 6 months or 18 or 9, they're no fucking different. It's a relationship, and people should be okay. Parents should be okay with saying, I don't like you today, not forever. If it's prolonged, we talk about that at a later time. But sporadically saying, you are not quite who I expected you to be. Your personality don't quite mesh with mine. Normalizing the fact that they are little people. They are themselves. They have their own personalities, and it's okay to say that. The first time that I felt like I really gave myself permission is watching Sex and the City. Not the sitcom one, when they did their movie. And if you know the characters, Charlotte is the one that's really put together, wanted to be a certain way. Here she got these 2 kids, always still wearing a white suit, whole living room is white, everything. And this scene had me in tears in the movie theater. She had locked herself in her amazing pantry. And she may have called Carrie, or she may have called Charlotte, because Charlotte was the one who was a mother by then. And it was like, I'm in the pantry. And she was like, what you doing in the pantry? One of the kids had put their hands on her Christian Dior white suit, and she was like, I just can't take this. I can't take this. So Charlotte invited her to go have drinks. You know, they drink Cosmopolitan. And she was like, I don't like them. Actually, one of them look a little funny. Like, they're rude, they're mean, they're entitled. And Miranda and Charlotte just sat at the bar getting fucked up on Cosmo, saying why they didn't like their kid. And I sat in there crying, like, I didn't know that was okay to do. I didn't know that you can say this and then go back home and love on them and dote on them and take care of them. So today I want you to be okay. So we're going to go pay some bills, and we'll be back, and we're going to let some listeners tell us why they don't fuck with their kids. All right, you guys are back with the Real Therapist for the Culture. And you know, today our topic is about depleted parent syndrome, or parental burnout, depleted mother syndrome, whatever term resonates with you. We've been talking about it is real, and we just not going to ignore it anymore. But one of the side effects per se is not liking your kids. And I want to allow people to understand, or you allow yourself to understand, that it's normal to not like them. It doesn't discount the way you're going to raise them, how you love them, or anything. And sometimes you guys will only hear Dr. L and I, but we got some guests today, and I'm not even going to say their name. And you know why? Because you don't know if their congregation from their church is one of our listeners, their mother, their aunts is a listener, and people are judgmental, right? So we're going anonymous today, but we are going to allow a few people come in and just 30 seconds. You don't even got to put a disclaimer. I love my kid. I've been raising them for 28 years. You don't got to do none of that. This is an opportunity for you to say, this is why I don't like them. And I need to be okay with saying that. So we have our guest here, nameless. I would like you to take a deep breath and let us know unapologetically why you don't like your kids sometimes.
Ooh. So I'm going to pull over my car. And I'm in front of a church, so I know I'm okay.
And there you go. You always in the Lord's hand.
I don't like my kids sometimes. My situation is I am living in toddler world and I'm living in teenage world. Both are selfish. Both are selfish in their own ways. Kids are born manipulators. That's what they do best. Lack of sleep. Hospital visits and money, non-stop money.
Yeah.
You said it doesn't discount that I love them with all my heart.
See, there you go. See, that's the part. That is the natural instinct that parents gotta still segue and say, but I do love them with all my heart, right?
Well, because it's like if you're playing into like a relationship, you may not like the man all the time.
There you go.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So, but the kids, they'll take you out if you let them. So you got to really get a hold of yourself.
Yeah.
It's like anything else, women lose themselves. We lose ourselves in relationships, and that relationship with our kids are one of them.
I appreciate your courage and being brave to be on air to say, I don't like them. They are manipulators. They are selfish. They deprive me of my sleep. And
they take all my fucking money.
Yeah. And that's just sometimes, right?
Damn.
But you know what? I appreciate you guys having me because it does feel good to say it out loud, right? Because you don't really say it to people. You don't want to be that parent that looked at like, oh, okay. But you know that saying that everybody says on Instagram is always like, man, fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids.
Right? It goes to our
Exactly.
shirt. What one of our hoodies and t-shirts was, fuck them kids, fuck this career, fuck that spouse. It's about me today. And that was challenging. Don't get me wrong, it sold out quickly, but there was a lot of hesitation with people buying that where it was like, what are people gonna think?
Yeah.
We got a lot of responses. The kids had an issue with it.
My kid hates the shirt.
Yeah.
My kid hates. She's like, "You wearing that shirt today?" Yes, I'm wearing it. Let it be. And usually that is your warning that today is not your day.
Yeah.
That's the warning.
Yep.
I think we might have to bring it back. One of my friends
Bring it back.
right? One of my friends sent me a video of her kid going in about it, like, tell Sophia she was one of my favorites. I don't mess with her no more. I'm going to cut this up. I'm going to burn it. He was having a whole teenage tantrum. Like, every time you wear this, you get selfish. You get all about yourself. You don't cook for us. It was the best video. And with his permission, I'm going to ask, can I post it? Like, as we talk about depleted mother syndrome. But yeah.
I'll tell you, if you put that shirt, I must have missed that sweatshirt. Because the healing sweatshirt, people love that. Actually, my daughter takes it and wears it to school.
Oh, that is a beautiful thing. The same one who you don't like sometimes, right?
Take your damn clothes.
Exactly. Do you see? Yeah.
They take everything. I'm telling you, they'll suck you dry if you let them.
Yeah.
Yes, they will.
Thank you. And I appreciate you acknowledging that it felt good to just say it, right? We ruminate with a lot of thoughts of, is this right? Is this okay? And like I said, being bold enough to just say it and releasing it, right? Sometimes this parental burnout lasts longer than it needs to because we just won't acknowledge what I feel, what's the thoughts behind it, what am I holding, what's the story I'm telling myself. And the more you acknowledge that, it's a faster release.
Yep.
And when you say this, now you get to hug your kids even tighter today. Like, guess what? I got this off. I didn't like you earlier. By the time you get home, Yeah.
I might like you again.
Exactly. Because I said it and released it.
This should be normal, guys. I'm so happy you guys are doing this because it also would alleviate a lot of the stress that moms feel, right? And not moms, parents, because I'm sure that their dads are the same way too, right? But like, it will also, if being able to speak your truth, it will prevent a lot of abuse in the home.
Yes.
That's true.
A lot of physical abuse on kids, a lot of mental abuse on kids, because all you're doing is you are throwing these feelings on your kids, and they don't know how to handle these feelings, right? They don't know what you're going through. They don't have the same responsibilities you have, but you threw it on them as opposed to letting it out somewhere else. And now your house is broken. So, you know, you guys could take this further.
That's a good perspective.
Dropping jewels.
good
Thank you so much for, I didn't even get to that piece. So thank you for sharing that with our listeners, that this does, one, is a release for you, but it does prevent a lot of abuse, not just physical, emotional, and mental. What you bottle up has to come out. Right? So if you holding these feelings about these children, at some point you start making comments like, you just as stupid as your stupid ass father. Like you start saying very ignorant stuff that was initially just a thought, but because I didn't express this thought, now it's turned into a belief, and now I say it to you because you dropped the milk. Good point. Good point. Thank you so much for your time, nameless caller. We love you, and we will talk to you soon. And I'm so glad you're in front of the church. Say a quick prayer and a breath, and go and love on your babies.
I need it.
Thank you. Enjoy your day.
Bye.
This is that. That was just powerful. One, it's like, you know, what we know as therapists, group counseling. One of the things that I love about group counseling is that it normalizes the experience. Many times we feel that no one gets this.
We think we're on an island
alone all the time, right? And we are fearful sometimes to share that. Like, you know, our listener just said, our caller just said, like, do I want to say this? Am I going to be judged? What's somebody going to think of me as a parent? Are they going to follow up later and be like, hey, how you feeling about your kid today? And it was like, that was a week ago. I'm good now.
Or throw it in your face.
Exactly.
A
like,
week
you was the same one who said you couldn't stand that kid, you know? So it is so relieving to just own what we feel. Like, I don't know how many different topics or ways we could continue to keep saying, just own it.
Own it.
Your feelings are not bad. Feelings in itself are neutral.
Your feelings
we give it the judgment of
are not wrong.
Never. But even us saying this is a bad feeling, they are neutral. How we respond to them is what gives it the heat. But they just are all neutral, and really honor yourself. So I'm glad we had that call. I almost said her name like 3 times.
Me too. I was like, all right, thank you.
Right, exactly, right? But I'm so thankful that, you know, she was bold enough to say that they can, and at times suck us dry. Suck us dry, right? So we're gonna do it again. We're gonna get let's get a male.
Okay.
Let's get a male's perspective to tell us, what do you think it is like for a man to experience this? Because let's keep it real. Mothers, we just like, you know, we are the saving grace. We are the next thing to Jesus itself. And we act like these men.
So, and forgive me, fellas. I'm always gonna go with the first thing that comes to my mind.
Please do.
Right? And so I think for men, they got two things that they're working against.
Tell me.
They try to meet the needs of the kids, but sometimes they try to almost compete with the mother. And not compete, like outshine her, because I'm not even putting that on them.
Oh, I thought you were about to say, because you can't.
No, that's not what I was going to say. Not like they want to outshine, but they want to do it right. And oftentimes the right way is the way that the mother does it. Or, you know what I mean? And so they trying to balance two things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
and let's don't add, I I don't want you to forget that point. But let's don't add that mothers have a way of sometimes making them feel that their way isn't the right way. So that adds or reinforce whatever notion that they may be holding about I have to do it like the mom in the first place. Let's put us on a hot seat too.
Right.
Why you holding a bottle like that? Too much air is coming through. Why you don't do the pamper this way? Hold the legs this way. Why you only holding one leg? So some of that unintentionally can make them feel like, ooh, I'm doing it wrong. Okay.
I'm gonna take it just real basic. Mm-hmm. Get your father to make you a peanut butter and jelly. Basic, right? And I'm gonna throw my kid in there, right? And dudes, I don't know what the fuck is, they got like metal in their hand and everything's like heavy. They don't have like breaking the bread up and shit. And he trying to make it and he putting the peanut butter and the jelly on both sides. And my kid is going to be the kid to say, why you doing it like that? Because that's not the way that my mom does it. You're supposed to lay them out and they're listening and they're trying at the same time, and before you know it, they're scattered, they're overwhelmed, and they're like, fuck this, eat the sandwich. If you don't want to eat it, you ain't hungry.
You ain't eating nothing. Exactly. Yeah.
And they probably would eat that beat up ass peanut butter and jelly either. You know what I'm saying?
With the globs of jelly. That's what it looks like in my house. My son be like, who made that? Like every time I took a bite, it was a glob of jelly, and he does not like heavy jelly. But yeah, and you said they got two things working against them. One is trying to keep up with the mom.
Trying to meet the kid's need, but also trying to do it at the standards of the mom or make it look as seamless as maybe the mom does it.
And even as you said that, as a woman, I felt exhausted. No, dead ass. Felt exhausted listening to you say all that internal dialogue that may be going on while you're trying to perform. And not for all men, but some men where that's not even natural for them.
Yep.
That's exhausting. All right, so let's get our male's perspective.
And some men, they just don't want to hear the mom's motherfucking
Ooh,
mouth. So
that
that's
part.
The goal.
That part. All right. This is gonna be good. And I'm not gonna say the name. I'm not saying the name at all. All right. And I feel like we won. We haven't had callers in a minute.
We haven't.
And we haven't had a chance to have some male ones in a minute. So let's hear this.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. What's up?
Thank you for being with the Real Therapist for the Culture. So I was just telling Dr. L, it's my topic, and we're going to have some callers on, and I'm not giving names. And even though you may be as bold as you are, depleted parental syndrome, there's so much judgment around it, right? And one of the symptoms is not liking your kid. And I want to spend some time, or we've been spending some time really wanting our listeners to kind of normalize that experience. Like, that's not I don't like my kid every day, but being okay that I don't like them sometimes, right? So just in case your family members are listening, I don't want them asking you about it at bowling later. Like, yeah, so I heard what you were saying about your kids over there, something you want to tell us. So we're not even doing that. I want this to be your opportunity to really give yourself permission to honor some of your thoughts and feelings when you don't like your kids sometimes. So tell the Real Therapist and our listeners why you don't like your kids sometimes.
So, I don't like my kids sometimes because they're entitled.
Ooh!
Super entitled. Sometimes they get the term dad confused with a servant.
I felt that in my gut.
That's one of my biggest things, entitlement. They don't really see what it takes to get to where we are in life, so they just kind of feel that it should be there. They feel like cable should be there. They feel like electricity should be there. They feel like the extra cars should be there. They feel like the trips to Florida is just nothing. It should be there. That's something you should be doing. So that's one of the parts about my kids, both of my daughters, that I don't like, the sense of entitlement. They feel like the world owes them something.
Ooh.
How how do they communicate their entitled attitudes? What are some things they say?
Ooh, very nonchalant.
Very nonchalant. I can say to my kids like, hey, we're gonna go to Florida in 2 weeks, and it just be like, Florida again. You know what I mean? Like wow. Like when I first time going to Florida, I had to take a 20-hour bus ride.
Yes.
How about that?
You know what I mean?
How about that?
Definitely a part that eats me up, where it's kind of the gift and the curse. You kind of want to give your kids the world, but then you kind of enable them by giving them the world and not teaching them how to get the world themselves.
Yes.
I really like that. I so appreciate you being just vulnerable, right? Because it is a level of vulnerability. You help create these kids, and to be able to say, yo, I don't like them sometimes, that's a vulnerable place. Do you ever feel guilty when you do feel that?
I think when I didn't understand it, but now that I get older and they're totally aware, no.
Oh, thank you.
Once they're aware and you made them aware, then no. You completely understand what you're doing at this point.
Yeah. And, I was really excited to have a male on, because like I was just saying to Dr. L, sometimes women feel like, or even I've watched women make a comment to a dad, what you tired for? What you exhausted about? And I wanted to make sure that this topic, it was clear that even though there are specific syndromes that's for mothers because of, biologically or physiologically carrying a child and what that does to the body and your neurotransmitters and all that stuff afterwards. So it is a key part that women could definitely be affected in a different way, but it still doesn't take away that men experience parental burnout too. So can you briefly tell us ways that you have experienced parental burnout?
It's kind of, I think, I experienced because you kind of never can be the one to let anybody down. You gotta always be the hero when you don't have an answer sometimes.
Okay.
Where I feel like with the moms, the dependability is always kind of on dad to make it right, so they can kind of switch the attention on to that person. But as a dad, you kind of can never fail. You kind of always have to figure out a way. There's no such thing as no. You gotta make it happen.
And that's the story you tell yourself.
Yeah, that's the story you tell yourself.
So make it personal for us. One thing about these therapists, they always therapying. Make it personal to you, right? Opposed to,
for me, I don't get the same caveat as mommy when she could say no and there's no issues. I don't get the same. What is the word I'm looking for? Well, I guess caveat is the word. I don't. Or
response. You don't even get the response. Yeah.
I get the same response when I can say, "Hey, I don't have it." It's kind of a thing where it's like, well, why not? You should have it. Mommy can say she don't have it. It's kind of like it's pretty much you immune to mommy not having it. So daddy can kind of never say no. So I have to figure it out. Plain and simple. So
and that's a lot of pressure. It sounds like.
My daughter can say, or my daughters can say, hey, mom, I need this, or can you be here, or can you take me to do this? And mommy can kind of say no and scrunch her shoulders, and it's kind of like, okay, well, mommy tired. But daddy never can be tired. If daddy says there's something wrong with daddy, something's going on, why not? We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So that's personal to my situation.
Yeah.
I don't have the same luxury, I guess, that mommy can have and say, hey, no, I'm not doing it, or no, I don't have it.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I gotta figure it out. So I don't get that same respect. If I'm to say no, or if I can't make it happen, I'm probably looked at, I guess, as not a failure, but I'm looked at as, wow, that's disappointing.
Wow.
That sounds like a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure.
And I could see how you can experience parental exhaustion or parental burnout from that. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of men, though. I know you said it's geared to myself, but I think that's a lot of men in general.
Absolutely.
That's actively in a household, that's actually in that position. Because you can have a man in a household, but don't make he actively the world leader of the household.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for being able to, be a voice for men, even if it's not all or some, but just being, again, courageous and bold to add jewels to this very meaningful topic to many of us.
Right.
We so appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, have a good one.
All right, bye. Oh, that was yummy. I felt that. And here I do have a man in a home, right? And sometimes you're so up close on a situation that you may not have the level of empathy to be able to see it because, one, I'm going through parental burnout myself and I'm just seeing what I'm doing and sometimes not realizing possibly what he could be feeling.
Absolutely.
What was that like hearing a male's perspective?
Well, the other piece was, I think it demonstrates that both parents can really be feeling the same thing for different reasons.
Yes.
Right? Because it's I heard what he said as the pressure to provide and to show up. I think moms, we experience that also, but in a different way. Maybe not necessarily as a provider, but I will say one of the things, Journey been dancing since she was 2. I don't think that I've ever missed a dance recital. Right? And that's the pressure on me because I have told myself that I can't miss one. That recital they do in May, they do 2 shows. I buy tickets for both shows and I sit through both shows. No, I've told myself that I gotta go sit through both shows. Like, I don't even fucking know why I go and sit. And usually the show is on my birthday or the day before or the day after. I spent my whole 40th birthday at a dance recital last year, right?
Yeah.
And so
a couple of years before that, because it alternates.
It seems like it alternates. This year is going to be June 3rd. And so, yes, and it's pressure. It's pressure, and it's this pressure to make sure you show up. And so I say all of that to say, regardless of the parenting structure, whether, the parents are together or not, and this is my takeaway.
Yep.
Are we there?
We are. I thought we were going to have time for another caller, but we won't. What we will do is maybe add it to social media or Facebook to just get, and even opening this up now, we want to hear you be able to do your own 30 seconds. If you send us a video clip, we'll post it. Or even if you don't want to, just to get it out like our first caller in said, it felt good just to say it out loud. So yes, go with your takeaway.
My takeaway is, the first parent that you can bond with is your if possible, your child's other parent, and letting them know, and saying to somebody, saying to another adult, saying to another parent, yo, I am in a space where I'm sick of my kids. I'm sick of them. I only got one. So and the other half of it is in a nod. Find the most safest space, whether it is with your child's other parent, your husband, your boyfriend, your friend, whomever, and saying, I'm fucking sick of these kids. This kid is getting on my fucking nerves today, and releasing it.
Yeah. And, now you got new language too, right? People like when you say cutesy words. Like, even today I was like, oh yeah, I described my husband in a phlegmatic way. It's like, ooh, what's that? What does phlegmatic mean, right? Be okay with showing people, like, no, I've done my research on what I'm experiencing. So even being okay with saying, I'm going through parental burnout. Open the conversation on a glass of wine with your girlfriends or whoever, and they be like, oh, what's that? Tell me more about it. Yeah, I'm sick of my kids.
Yeah,
I feel exhausted. I feel pretty tired. I feel like I don't really have a lot of drive. I feel like I don't got much to give. Open that up and talking to other people, and guarantee, and I don't like to guarantee a lot of things in life, but guarantee one person, if not all, will say me too.
Yep. Yep.
I didn't know that that's what that was called. I didn't know that it was a real syndrome or a real term for it.
Yep.
So yeah, so I mean, the first takeaway for me is just the emotion identification. Identifying what you are feeling. That's it. Stop letting life feel like we got to scurry through everything. Like, oh, even when we sat down, we like, yo, your kid got to have a day today? What time we got to get out of here? What time I got a 40-minute drive back? I got to make sure that this one is off the bus, blah, blah, blah. You be scurry through life with all these tasks and forget to just be. Be present, kind of grounding yourself and asking yourself, what am I feeling about parenting today? What am I feeling about my children? What am I feeling about me as a woman, me as a man, whatever it is? So once you start to identify the feeling, then you can even say, hey, it is parental burnout. Hey, I can have the conversation, but we can't do anything until we identify what is happening internally. So sometimes people be like, I don't even know what to say. You right, because we skipping a step. Mm-hmm. The first step is, what is it that I'm truly feeling and being okay with it? I know so many people, from little girls and little boys, have told us the way you feel is wrong. What you crying for? That wasn't that big of a deal. You still crying and you only scratched your knee, or you ain't even really know that person like that. Why you still crying over their death? So many people have challenged what our thoughts and feelings are. So here we carry that into adulthood, where we doubt and question, is this right? Should I be feeling this? Should I be not? Let's eliminate that. So I guess I'm saying 2 takeaways in one, right? Eliminate you even second guessing what it is that you're feeling. 2, identify and be honest with you. Even if you're not ready to say it to someone else, just be honest with you. I don't like them. You know, the best thing that I've learned from a physician when I was pregnant was the person who owns, I don't like them, I can't stand them, is the less likely person to abuse, to neglect, to abandon. I share that with people I used to supervise. It's okay to say you're attracted to a client. You'll be less likely to fuck them. And they used to be like, oh, what? You trying to play like, oh no, I'm never attracted to any client. You're going to be bent over, sis. You will. Because it's impossible to say that this person isn't an attractive male or this. So I say that to say, when you own it, it's less likely for that to happen. For you to say, hey, I need help today, this weekend, it is less likely that you will harm or do any kind of negligent activity to your kid because you're aware something I'm not feeling right. Yep. Okay, another takeaway.
So my last takeaway is to schedule breaks in advance. We do this thing where we wait until we're
burnt out.
You're at the edge of the damn cliff to say, oh, somebody help. You calling them back up when you about to fall over the cliff. No.
I like that.
Ahead of time. So, you know, what does that look like? That looks like, you know what? Every Friday, Journey has dance every Friday. And who the fuck wants to spend their Fridays at dance?
Not me.
Right?
Not me.
Some Fridays in advance, I know I'm not doing this dance thing.
Yeah.
And so before I get so sick and tired and resentful and pissed off that this is what I got to spend my Friday doing, I schedule Fridays off in advance.
I like it. I really like the in advance. That is, I didn't even think about in advance, but it speaks to, if you are aware of your feelings and you process it and you saying it, it's kind of like, yeah, I know I'm probably going to need, I'm already a little off.
Yep.
I'm not going to do this for 8 more weeks. I like that. I like that because that ties into self-care, right? People think that self-care is always this extreme. I got to go to 4 Seasons, full day experience. No. Just
having some champagne at 10 a.m. And then
you're not pouring. Like, what's up?
Because
we finishing this $85 bottle. Yeah, we is.
This is what self-care
no, for real.
Like. Your kids got
you know this is in my toolbox, not this particular champagne, but champagne is in my toolbox. And that's okay. I know I can't do it every day, but it's in my toolbox.
Right.
But sometimes we think that it always has to be this extravagant, what TikTok show us. No, going to the dollar store to get a lavender bath salts. That could just be your self-care. In advance saying, hey, I'm not doing dance this Friday. Ooh. That could be your self-care, right? Like, stop making it bigger than it has to be. Yep. So I have 2 takeaways, and they somewhat we've already been saying, so I'm going to say it fast, is just be gentle with yourself. Yep. Like, we say it just so naturally, soft girl ever, gentle girl ever, all these different things, but have compassion. You are raising a kid or children. Yo, that is the biggest gift and job you could ever attain.
That's the hardest.
That by itself, you should be patting yourself on the back daily. Woo, I am the shit because I made it. I used to tell people, they say, oh, why you doing all this extravagant thing for this first birthday? Yeah, I'm clear. It's not about this kid. This is me. I made it through a year. I breastfed for this year. I didn't roll over and smother the kid. And then sometimes I woke up halfway on her or almost off the bed. This is me. So you're right. Her ass might be asleep the whole thing, but I want all the backyardigans there. Uniqua, Pablo, all of them. And I was mad 2 of them didn't show up the last minute. Yes, I wanted all 5 of them there because that was for me. So stop even telling parents y'all doing too much for that first or the 5th or the 16th, because deep down that's
we celebrate every year. And people, yeah.
Every year we are celebrating, right? But my last one on a more serious note is be mindful of these parental expectations. You know, our male caller, you know, this ain't therapy in that moment, but I wanted to challenge the story, right? Because not only it's this, your kids are putting this pressure, but that's the story he tells himself, right? That I have to show up for everything. I have to be the one to say yes to everything. Because if not, he said it's not like failing, but him saying that means if I don't, I'm failing. It feels like it. Right? Mm-hmm. So these expectations, release some of them. Make them realistic. Saying that it is 5 days in this school week and expecting the kid gonna sit down and read to me every day for an hour. That's unrealistic. Mm-hmm. I like 20, but an hour, like, that's unrealistic. Thinking that your kid is gonna be in 3 different sports and play an instrument and maintain these grades, and you're gonna be at every parent-teacher conference and on the PTA, like, unrealistic. So some of this burnout, we have to be able to own we're causing. Yep. Some of it just naturally comes with this game, but some of it is the expectations we hold how we should be as parents. And just as a reminder, if you guys don't remember, anytime you're saying it should, you know that you're in irrational beliefs. Yep. So this was refreshing for me, especially since I am recently coming out of my parental burnout. I really pray, and it's my hopes that this is opportunity, 1, for you to delve into it with you, but also release the judgment and the criticism that you're holding to yourself as a parent.
This is good. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Till next time, be kind to you guys. Follow us on Instagram at Real Therapist, Facebook at Real Therapist. Email us if this triggered anything for you. We are available. And, you know, it may not be Soph, it may be Dr. L, whatever. We will respond. Exactly. And you can email us your thoughts about this at realtherapist@gmail.com.
Peace out.